There is, or I should say was until a couple of weeks ago, a department within Homeland Security that decided that religious people and Trump supporters were the most likely to be domestic terrorists. And the staffing at this agency was all Democrats who had supported Joe Biden. This is not a joke. When it came to light, the agency was disbanded a couple of weeks ago. We're going to give you details. Check this out, Will Johnson. There was an agency within the Department of Homeland Security, this is not a joke, that decided that Trump supporters, members of the military, and religious Christians were the people most likely to commit domestic violent extremist attacks. That's a quote. I'll say it again. Trump supporters, members of the military, and religious people were the persons most likely to commit, quote, domestic violent extremist attacks, according to DHS, which means you, as a Christian, could be on an extremist act watch list because you might do something to destroy America. This is unreal. By the way, after it became public, the Biden administration disbanded the agency just a few weeks ago. This was called the Homeland Intelligence Experts Group. It was formed last fall, not that long ago, within the last 7 months, to provide and advice and perspectives on intelligence and national security efforts. Unbelievable. So what happened is former ambassador and national security advisor Richard Grenell filed a lawsuit against Homeland Intelligence Experts, the group, when it was announced. And Republicans in Congress went bananas because literally they decided that you are an extremist who probably ought to be on a list because there is a probability that you destroy America because you believe in Christianity.
I believe in freedom.
Sanity.
I believe in justice for all. I believe in the Constitution.
The group
I believe in America.
Oh, yeah. Those are like 4 crimes right there.
I believe a man is a man and a woman is a woman.
Oh, man.
I'm getting real extreme, aren't I?
Now you're going to be on another list. Members of this agency included former Obama intelligence officials and Russian collusion hoaxers John Brennan, James Clapper. Remember, they signed the letter saying the laptop was Russian disinformation.
Mm-hmm.
Other Obama officials, Francis Taylor, Asha George, Rajesh D., Karen Wagner, Alyssa Massimino. They're all Democrats. They all contributed to Democrat candidates. And the group, according to what the Republicans are saying, discussed ways to get around the constitutional limits to their domestic intelligence gathering goals. So they were trying to figure out how to get Americans to inform on each other. It sounds like Nazi Germany in the 30s.
You know what?
40s.
You know, Barry, I was going to ask you, what does this remind you of?
They concluded that, this is a quote, most of the domestic terrorism threats now come from supporters of former President Donald Trump. Oh, God, this is real. Unbelievable.
Actually, you know what, Barry? I heard about this over a year ago that they were talking about implementing this. I heard about this right after the 2020 election. And it was like November, it was late 2021 where I was actually having a conversation with this young lady. And she was telling me that her son was active duty and he was stationed overseas. And he told his mom, he said, I couldn't believe it. This is before it even hit the mainstream news or anything. His mom was talking to her son and he was like, I can't believe this. They were listing MAGA Republicans, anyone who supported President Trump, as domestic terrorists, that they should be watch surveillance should be on them. And she was telling me this. She said, but I can't get you to report on it. I can't get you to talk because it's connected to my son. My son is like telling me this information. And what really sparked it is because it was overseas. They were sharing this information overseas with military personnel overseas, because they want the military to be on high alert about the domestic terrorists in the United States of America. But Barry, at the top of the list, because you know how Democrats, they always separate, your sex, your religion, your color, what have you. They always use this as, as markers to identify people. They say specifically white men are the biggest threat. And then they go down the list of everyone who just openly supports President Trump. And it sounds just like Nazi Germany. Sounds just like it. They're targeting a group of people that they don't like, a group of people that they disagree with. And isn't it interesting, Barry, that the same mindset that was locking up and torturing and killing Jewish people in Nazi Germany have the exact same mindset of these Democrats here in the United States of America? What are the odds in that? How does that happen? Do they and do they not pay attention to history? And they're the first ones to say Hitler was bad. Well, we all say it, right? Hitler was bad. They're quick to say it. The reason why I'm saying they're the first ones to say it because how they're equating and trying to associate President Trump as a Hitler figure, which this all running in the news right now. They're trying to associate President Trump with a Hitler figure because we all know Hitler was bad, but yet they turn around and do the exact same thing Hitler was doing, locking up political prisoners, going after labeling people as domestic terrorists as a problem to their democracy. These people using the same rhetoric, and then they say, well, President Trump talking about the blood of our nation. Really? Who wanted to abolish the fact that President Trump should be on the ballots? Who wanted to who currently is trying to destroy the Supreme Court because they're not getting what they want? It's the same group of people, the same mindset.
In our previous segment, Will, you talked about how this now disbanded organization at the Department of Homeland Security was deciding that people like you were the most likely to commit domestic terrorism and extremist acts against the government because you believe in God. Shame on you. And you compared that to Nazi Germany, where the Nazis did the same thing and reported on the people that they felt were their enemies. Made up, but it worked.